Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. BoomStick and Friends. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news, exciting breaking news that surrounds the PlayStation. That's right, folks. We're going to be talking positive about PlayStation. Oh my God, the gaming gods are shining down on me today because, listen, folks, I make no apologies for being a stan for multiple things, one of which is Marvel. Sorry, folks. If you're a DC guy, girl, I hear you. I loved freaking Superman, and I can't wait to see what James Gunn does. Honestly, there's a rumor that the big event that they're leading to is, folks, get ready for it, Blackest Night. Oh my freaking God. If you ever read that book, please read Blackest Night. It's with the lanterns. It's freaking amazeballs. And that's what it seems like they're going towards. So very excited there. But we're here to talk about Marvel. And what are we talking about? Well, the news broke, and I have a story here, and it's an exclusive story, by the way, from InsiderGaming.com, ladies and gentlemen. And it was written by Tom Henderson himself. We're going to get into what Tom had to say, the information on Wolverine, and when we can expect the next big trailer. But that's not all, folks. Look, Everborn is listening in the background. He right now is cutting his hair. And I wish he would have been here because honestly, I think that this really does have a lot to do with some of the conversation he has been having with the community. Kay Asante will be with us momentarily. And obviously, Kay has a lot to say. We were talking today, I know, behind the scenes about this consistent and constant attack on Game Pass. And it's gotten so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that there are people, and again, I'm going to name some names today, and it's not to be an a-hole. It is for context. It is literally, I have to name the names because they wrote the story, and they're on these Twitter streets trying to defend this opinion. I think the opinion is wrong. And that opinion is that Xbox and Microsoft, listen to this, folks. I'm going to read it verbatim. I'm not bullshitting at all. This is actual factual stuff that has been written and put to press. Xbox Game Pass and Microsoft have made Xbox Game Pass so good that it is damaging the industry. I honestly, folks, I'm not making this up. I'm going to read it verbatim. I find it to be preposterous at best. And I'm going to put myself on the stand later on and explain why a retired guy like myself, who works super hard to get his pension, and my pension is good, but like people make fun of me all the time, it has a ceiling, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll get into how ridiculous things have gotten in regards to being expensive in just the last 5 years, and why Xbox Game Pass is allowing for every person of every financial station to enjoy high quality games, not only from Microsoft first party, but from incredible indies, second party deals, and third party deals. Again, we're going to get into it, but Harky Chani, what's up, brother? We've been doing something a little bit different recently. And, obviously we're going to welcome you in, but what have you been playing after you're welcomed in here, sir? Because as you can see, folks, I've been playing the demo of Sonic Worlds, and it's really good. How you feeling, Hargeet?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I finished up Sea of Stars before it left. It left Game Pass this weekend, and then I started up Helldivers 2. Played that with Red Wolf, another community member, and
Nice.
I played a little while with him, and KY Bob showed up, and we played for a bit. And then I started up Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that was pretty cool. So that's what I've been playing. And since then, unfortunately, I've just been busy. It's been work. So I haven't really played anything beyond that. But hey, it's quite a few games to start up. And then while I was trying to peruse, I did try Asphalt something. It's one of the racing games with the Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try this, and played it for an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not really much into racing. It's pretty good though. The game was actually pretty good. But it's just okay. I get my fill of racing. that's how it goes with me.
And that's fair.
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
so
yeah.
But yeah, I'll keep trying to nibble away at my backlog, which is like 100 plus games. This is Game Pass's fun, right? we get so many games. I still buy some games here and there, but it's like, yeah, whatever. It's so many games. I bought Mafia and
Mafia is freaking fantastic.
Haven't
dude.
even gotten to start them, right? But I have them installed. I have Mafia and Metal Gear ready to go. Again, like, yeah, there's so much. It's crazy.
You know, I saw a tweet from, I believe who was it? It was Danny Benya, which, by the way, shout out to Danny for sharing a real scary situation that happened with his wife. Now, they didn't get into particulars, but Rihanna, who I know personally, along with Danny Pena, had gotten super sick to the point where she needed emergency surgery. Well, folks, I'm very happy to say that I saw a tweet from not only Danny, but from Rihanna as well, that the doctors did in fact save her life, of course, and she is now home resting. I got to reach out to Danny and Rihanna. They're real good friends of mine personally, and I love them. They're great people. So to hear that she got sick is always scary, but the fact that she was seen by the right doctors at the right time, and I'm very happy to know that she's okay. But yeah, you know, like you, Helldivers has taken over my life to the point where, and again, folks, listen, anybody over the age of 50, raise your hand, right? Like we used to game, or at least I used to game to the wee hours in the morning, and nothing would phase me. I used to, when I was a cop, used to go to the midnight showings for whatever, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. It would be, I'd get home at like 3:30 in the morning to only have to get up at 6 to go do my police thing. I could do it back then. Now, I don't know if I could get away with doing that. And that's the same thing with gaming. But the call of Helldivers, ladies and gentlemen, is so strong with me. I just hit level 12. And again, if I have a complaint about Helldivers, it's the leveling is as slow as molasses. Like, no matter, I just got the 10-point cheapo achievement for doing 50 plus missions. I know that there's more. You do 100, there's 200, whatever. I wish the leveling up was again, I don't want to do 2 missions and get level 20. I just want a little bit, like, I wish there was some sort of a, like a bonus weekend, double XP or something like that. But I guess you can't really save Super Earth if you're getting double XP. I don't know, whatever the lore is, it is. But I am really, really enjoying myself. I have played one game on the difficulty higher than medium, and I got wrecked. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. So I went back down the medium, and even some of the medium things, man. Like when you got to do the launch codes and you're doing a solo, oh my god, you need to drop turrets, folks, because you're gonna get wrecked. But yeah, I'm just, folks.
Yeah, that game really is kind of a co-op experience where it's much more fun when you have multiple people.
Oh, I've been playing with many people in the community, and it's been a blast. Like I said, I actually have a recording that I played the other day of poor Do UK now the broke boy insider who got nipped by what he is calling the pit bull, but it is the my god, the watchdog is what it is, and it's the thing that shoots the lasers. Well, it wound up cutting off his legs, and you heard not Will, but you heard the character yell at the top of his lungs, "My legs! For the love of liberty, my legs!" It's those instances when you hear the writing in this game. I know it's a shooter, folks, right? I know it's a shooter. It's serious. Team play is highly encouraged, right? Don't run off by yourself to do stuff because you're going to get killed. But the writing in the game that I think a lot of people overlook is if you listen to the banter, oh my god, it's so good. And again, folks, what a time to be a gamer. Honestly, it doesn't matter where you're gaming. There's something for everybody. And right now,
I haven't even had a chance to play Gears. I don't know if you had a chance to even try it.
I rolled credits on Gears. I didn't get a chance to play with my brother yet. He was busy over the weekend. I want to I want to run through it again. But yeah, it's Gears again. Gears is Gears. Looks great, sounds great, plays great, but my god, the AI is just egregious. It's just Dom is consistently, and I remember it when I was, me and my brother were playing, and obviously so one of us had to play as Dom. We were good. But when you play solo, Dom is a knucklehead, and that guy just runs ahead and gets killed, and he's down, and he can't help you, and it's
I don't think
whatever.
I've ever played those games solo. I think I've always played them co-op. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, and you know what? Here's another piece of something to add to your backlog. Tomorrow, the DLC for Indiana Jones drops.
I know, God.
So there you go.
And that looks good too.
I'm stopping everything. Honestly, I'm gonna have to give Helldivers a bit of a break because that is I cannot.
Oh my goodness,
that looks so
this
good,
is too much to do, man. It's too many
it really is. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I just got a message. He's Kesante will be here momentarily. Let's open up with the big breaking news, folks. Now look, I know that there's going to be some people in the chat that are like the kids like to say over it when it comes to the Insomniac Marvel connection. Unfortunately for Insomniac Games, it does seem like they are going to be in the salt mines of Marvel. If you are a fan like I am, this is wonderful news. If you are waiting for something different that we know that they can do, it's unlikely. I don't know based on the sales numbers if we're ever going to get a new Ratchet and Clank. I got to be honest with you, I think that's awful. Ratchet and Clank is a phenomenal series. It's a fantastic platformer, and both iterations on the PS4 and then the PS5 ripped apart. They're gorgeous. They're just phenomenal games. But listen, it is what it is. The way it appears from based on, if you got to remember, one of the most devastating things I think happened to that studio a couple of years ago was that massive internal leak that when they got hacked. All of their plans, including actual gameplay and actual, the game was out there. So people are playing Wolverine right now on PC. Well, when that happened, I think it set back the company a couple of years. How many years, I don't know. But Wolverine was supposed to be out already. And unfortunately, because of what happened, they got to change the code. They can't just use the same code. I mean, you can't do that. So they had to go and fix it. And a lot of stuff got gummed up. One of which was, of course, the rumored Venom. Venom apparently is happening next year. Venom apparently started out as DLC, and that DLC was supposed to come to Spider-Man 2. The leak happened, it got delayed, and eventually they decided that rather than make it DLC, and there was no DLC for Spider-Man 2 like there was for Spider-Man 2018, again, they didn't announce it yet, but the rumor is that Venom is happening next year, and it's going to be a Miles Morales level release. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I don't make any apologies for being such a fan of Insomniac. Again, Ted Price ran that company phenomenally for years. He's obviously now retired. They're under new leadership. The Venom game that's supposed to be coming out next year apparently is the Lethal Protector part of Venom's Marvel history. If anyone has read the comics, the Lethal Protector run was dope. I don't know if they're going to follow it exactly because unfortunately they've changed a lot. Like Venom is not Eddie Brock. Venom is, I don't want to spoil it for you if anybody didn't play, so I'm not going to spoil it, but it's I'm very excited for it. But listen, you know what? Before we actually read the report coming, and it's an exclusive report, by the way, of Insider Gaming. Hey, Kesante, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Good day, good evening, all. Yeah, man, I'm sorry I'm late. I've been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I got some interesting things afoot. Maybe tomorrow y'all will find out what interesting things I'm talking about. We'll talk about it later, Boom. It's a life thing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm preparing some things. I'm being a little evil.
Nice.
So, yes,
very
I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. What's going on, everybody?
Well, you know what? We are getting into the breaking news that comes the way of InsiderGaming.com. It is, of course, written by Tom Henderson. It was published earlier this afternoon, and the title of his article says "Exclusive." Insomniac Games Wolverine is likely to be at PlayStation's next state of play. Now, look,
Nice.
we all have to admit, and I'm sure that the PlayStation community will, believe it or not, actually rally behind me what I'm about to say. I'm a PlayStation fan. I don't like PlayStation. I don't like Sony as a company because they nickel and dime the F out of you, and I can't stand it. They do some really egregious things. People defend it, and it's gross. But quite frankly, you've heard me for years talk about how much I love their single player story driven games. I like their games, and that's why I have a PlayStation 5. Well, I'm also a Marvel stan. I love the MCU. I love Marvel Comics. I still read books from time to time. I don't buy as many as I used to. I'm a big fan of Marvel, the MCU. Kevin Feige run MCU. Now, granted, it's fallen on some hard times in the last couple of 2 phases, but it does seem like they're back. Eyes of Wakanda, phenomenal.
You watched that? It was amazing. It was amazing.
It's ridiculously
Oh my God.
good. It's ridiculously good. If you missed it, and again, it came out like a whimper. Like it wasn't even a lot of fanfare for it. It's only a couple episodes.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. Ironheart came out. Obviously, everyone's, oh my goodness, a woman Iron Man. Folks, that's from the comics. Riri Williams is a comic book hero. That she's I'm sorry that she exists. Obviously, I don't know if anyone saw it, the trailer for Marvel Zombies coming out on the 24th, the day before my birthday. I'm getting an early birthday gift. Yes, it looks freaking incredible, and it's rated R, which is just ridiculous. But getting back to the story at hand, if there is one complaint that many PlayStation gamers, including myself, by the way, have had for Sony's shows or lack thereof their shows, has been the missing aspect of first party. Their state of plays, quite frankly, have been horrendous. They're all third party. You get it's just not been good, folks. Most PlayStation purists, meaning that people that actually have a PlayStation to play first party games, have been disappointed, and I have been there too. Ghost of Yotai releases in less than a month. Very excited for that. That's a day one buy for me. Baby steps, not so much. But for obvious reasons, it just looks whack. Sorry. But this story is exciting because, Insomniac Games, after the leak a couple of years ago, went radio silent, and for good reason. Their company was in disarray, and all of their plans were halted. Everything got delayed by at least a year. It could be even more than that. The rumors as for what they are currently doing is 2026 is Venom the Lethal Protector. And then in 2027, again, folks, rumor, you are going to get Wolverine. I am very excited for it. But I will say, I hope they took the internet criticism seriously, because some of the things that I saw that leaked were cool. A lot of the climbing of the walls and the Spider-Man wall running, and that's not the Wolverine I know and love. So I hope that they took what leaked and they went back to the drawing board, and that's why we're not getting it until 2027. But gentlemen, I'm going to read a bit from the article, so folks, bear with me as I do so. According to Tom Henderson, he says insider gaming sources have revealed that Insomniac Games Wolverine is ready to be shown off for the first time officially since the 2021 PlayStation Showcase. According to Tom, he says, our sources, who wish to remain anonymous as they couldn't talk about the company plans, PlayStation is currently planning its next State of Play event towards the end of September. Other sources reveal that Insomniac Games Wolverine is almost certainly going to be at the event. And according to the article, it says further, as the production of its next trailer has now been completed, if the game doesn't appear at State of Play when the trailer would undoubtedly be released in the next few months, and he's suggesting that the Game Awards would be the likely next candidate. And of course, that makes perfect sense. It's a Jeff Keighley run show. Obviously, he's in bed with Sony. It's what, and it makes sense, right? So if you're gonna have all eyes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually hope that it doesn't show up at the end of September. I hope it is the Game Awards, and I say that as a fan. Insomniac Games for me is the crown jewel of PlayStation Studios. And I'm sure people are going to argue with me to say, well, no, they like this one, or you like this one, or she likes this one. That's fine. For me personally, they're not only the workhorse of PlayStation Studios, they're the crown jewel. Hargeet, are you back? So Hargeet, let's get your thoughts on this, because most people have been asking and wanting a first-party game.
Yeah, I mean, they get first-party games. They just get fewer of them, and we're kind of getting a lot on the other side, so it looks kind of bad, right? But I don't know if it's really that far off from what they used to do. But, cool. We've seen this as a trailer. We were all expecting something. We then got the leak, as you mentioned, where this game is kind of on PC available. not legally, I suppose, but it's there. And, so what we saw, at least from what I saw, I was not impressed. I'll just say that. It felt like they kind of took the Spider-Man universe and threw a Wolverine skin on it and said, hey, there's a game. That is not what I expect from Wolverine. And some changes of direction seem to have occurred because some people got maybe fired, and things moved in a different direction. And so what again, it's all rumor, right? What we're hearing is they kind of reconsidered the direction of that game and maybe minorly rebooted to sort of kind of fix up from the impression people gave, because for me, Wolverine is probably not going to be very similar to a Spider-Man at all, right? I expect a very different thing, at least from what I understand of Wolverine, right? So, and I'm not a comic person. It's just what I've watched in the movies. I don't see Spider-Man and Wolverine being very similar in their tactics and the way they do things. It's just they're different characters, right? And the trailer they showed was what I expect. Like, he is a brawler, and he will get in your face and do like stuff, right? And so he is not sitting there being the nice guy saving all the people. That's not Wolverine, right? So my expectation of the game was very different, and then I'm like, oh, you're just talking to people and solving things like Spider-Man. I'm not liking this. Like you're clawing your way up on a wall. No, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. So I think they took that to heart and said, okay, yeah, that's not what we want, especially after all the failures they've had, after all the shutdowns, after all the cancellations. It's like, yeah, this needs to hit. This needs to hit. And so I hope they took that in and said, all right, we got to redo this and do a better game. And maybe this is challenging for them. It's not maybe in their vein, right? Like they've kind of made different types of games. But this really feels like it really should be much more. And I know people are going to like the Sony formula. Like, this is a good Sad Dad Walking Simulator type game, because that is what Wolverine really is. Yes. He is a melancholic, I'm woe is me type of person that rages. Like, okay, cool, right? Go do that. That's exactly, this would be perfect in that kind of vein, right? So I hope they take that and say, let's make it more like a God of War. Like, let's go. Like that's what it should be like, right? But at least that's what my expectation was. What I'm seeing, I'm like, this is not what I want. So, yeah. So I hope they do that. Really, I would love that to be like a linear story that just takes you through it. All the emotions go right. Yeah. That kind of feels like what it should be. Yeah, I don't know if people play the Deadpool game, but that
Deadpool, kind of thing, but both obviously times it released.
But obviously not with the humor, obviously not with like the craziness and zaniness of Deadpool, but kind of in that vein. Right, is what you want to have, level after level of get through it, right? And so I don't know, that's kind of what I was expecting, just with maybe a visual uplift, right? It's Sony, so they're gonna push that anyway. We'll see what they do. I'm actually very interested to see what they actually pull off here, right? Insomniac, to your point, is one of their better studios. It's done a lot of work for them this generation. Yep. So I've got to give them their kudos, of course. But I am disappointed with where Sony has kind of made them the Marvel studio and said, yeah, we're not going to do anything else. What we're letting go of your team that was doing the next Ratchet. Like, okay, that kind of sucks, right? You just become Marvel Studio. Okay, fair enough. I get it because they've maybe signed some contracts with Disney and they want to get the money and whatever, fine. But that is kind of disappointing because I would like them to continue with other things too. Sunset was kind of a weird smash hit that like nobody expected, but it didn't really do as well as it could have because unfortunately it was on the Xbox One, which was kind of not the preferred platform at the time, for the Xbox One generation. And it would have been great if it got to shine on PlayStation, if they actually allowed a sequel and say, hey, let's remaster the first one. Let's do a collection. Let's bring it out. Let people enjoy that game, right? Let's push it forward. But, whatever. So this is all they do. But I really have high hopes that they've took the feedback and said, okay, this is not the direction. This is not what people were expecting. Let's change directions and do the right things, right? So let's hope they've learned that. And so I'm going to look forward to this trailer and see what the heck they're talking about. But that's what I'm looking for. Show me the gameplay and don't show me what we saw before because I am not interested in that at all. I hope this is directionally very different than what we saw released on the PC. Well, not released, but leaked. Illegally hacked and leaked onto PC. And then as far as Venom, yeah, we've been hearing about this, right? This, was part of the leaks, the roadmap they had. But yeah, it's just been delayed a bit. Fair enough. Coming out next year-ish, I guess. That'll be kind of cool, right? So, and then this will be maybe, from all the speculation we have, a launch title for the next gen PS6, right? Because that potentially could be coming in 27. Right. So, we could have Wolverine as a launch title. Or if it, moves to 28, then, whatever, fine. But it supposedly, right, there's a potential that the PS6 comes out in 2027. This is scheduled for 2027. It could be one of those, like Miles Morales was like a cross-gen game, right? It could be this, Wolverine would be a cross-gen, but it will be a launch title for PlayStation 6. Just keep that, in the back of your heads as well.
That would be freaking awesome, dude.
Which would be awesome. Yeah. Why not? I hope they do a good job with it. Let's let's see where they go with it.
Again, it's one of those things that Insomniac is really good at what they do, right? Not only, and that's the thing I love about Insomniac. Like if you played Spider-Man 2018, and again, folks, I know there's some people that haven't, and I have a theory for what this event happening at the end of September may levy. I'll get to that in a second. So I'm not going to ruin what happens at the end of 2018 because there's Xbox players in this chat right now that's never played it. So I'm not going to ruin it for you. It was a monster-sized, holy shit moment. And I'm like, I can't believe Sony let them do this. Like, I can't believe Marvel let them do it. But the thing about Insomniac is they tell their story of Spider-Man. And I think that is freaking awesome, right? So, you get to Miles Morales. Listen, folks, I'm not going to get into the emotional bond I have with that game. That game hits me in a way that is probably over a lot of people's heads, and that's fine. But something, I'm not going to get into it. I loved Miles Morales. There's so much that I love about that game. I could spend an hour talking about it. I won't do that tonight. Spider-Man 2, I didn't beat. And it wasn't because it wasn't good. It is freaking fantastic. It's just not enough time in a day. Of course, Tony Todd, who is no longer with us, did the lines for Venom. He has supposedly recorded the lines for Lethal Protector. I hope that they honor that man. Obviously, that's Candyman right there. That guy is amazing. And one of his last
For us
works,
gray beards, he'll always be Candyman.
yeah, it's absolutely. Okay, Asante, let's get into this. Again, this is a story that comes away of Insider Gaming, written by our good friend of the show, Tom Henderson. Tom had a lot of things to say in this article, and I'm going to read a little bit more. Tom goes on to say, Insomniac Games Wolverine faced some issues in development following a ransomware attack in December of 2023, during which employee information and a substantial amount of the game footage leaked online. The hack resulted in some changes to the game's plans, but the extent of these changes are currently unknown. Now, he goes on to say, at the time of writing, neither PlayStation nor Insomniac Games has revealed when Wolverine is set to be released, but fingers crossed, an answer awaits us in the coming weeks. The game is currently slated to release exclusively on the PlayStation 5. I mean, again, this is exciting news for people like me, like you, who are fans of Marvel Comics, of the MCU, of Marvel in general. Again, I know Marvel, the MCU specifically, has fallen on some hard times, but obviously they've had some bangers. I thought Fantastic Four was incredible. I thought Thunderbolts was really, really good. I'm looking forward to Doomsday. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, Brand New Day, which is going to have a lot of villains, including the Punisher and potentially the Hulk, and Doomsday, and obviously Secret War. So if you're a Marvel fan, there's a lot to get excited about. But we're talking about video games, and right now, the place to find Marvel video games is on PlayStation. And Wolverine getting a new trailer. And I got to say, I think Hargeet really did knock it out of the park, because like him, as much as I would still buy the game, that's not the kind of Wolverine I want to play, man. Like, I'll say this. When you're playing Spider-Man, at least Spider-Man 2018, and you're flying around and you're helping, people in the streets, like, someone's getting bullied by some gang members, you beat up the gang members. Oh, thank you, Spider-Man. You could do that, 5, 6, 10 times, and you're like, okay, I'm over it. The stolen car, you swing, you screech the car, you flip it over. That's Spider-Man. Obviously, and that's literally Spider-Man in the comics. He's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He helps the people. But Wolverine is not that guy, man. He really isn't. And I'm actually hoping, and this is, again, I don't know anything, folks. I'm fanboying right about now. I hope that Wolverine has a tone like The Last of Us. I want it to be dreary. I want there to be stakes that are serious. Now, because of the leaks, we learned that Jean Grey was going to be the Mary Jane of the game. And as much as I love Jean, I think she'd be an incredible character to use. That's just another thing that I think they got to remove. Like the Mary Jane stuff from Spider-Man 2018, the Mary Jane stuff. I mean, she became like an assassin in Spider-Man 2. Like I get it, women power. I love it. I say yes, but I don't know, man. I don't think Jean is she's not a sub character. She's an Omega level freaking mutant, one of the most powerful mutants. She can't be no side piece. She needs to be the real deal. Sorry.
It's like making Storm a side character. That's
hello.
Hilarious.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw Halle Berry's tweet.
Yes.
But she was holding a Marvel comic book with her Doctor Doom holding Storm, which means, of course, she's going to be in Doomsday. Yes, please. I'll take that all day long. But you know what?
I will give you slander, though.
What's okay?
I didn't like hers. I did not like her as Storm. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. That's fine. We will have that conversation at some point.
Forgive me.
Let's talk Wolverine, because again, unfortunately for Sony, they have been out of sorts for the last couple of years. Their first party output have been barren, and again, shout out to Hargeet for actually talking about how bad it looks, because Xbox has so many games coming out. So it does look like a one-sided affair. Let's get your thoughts on Wolverine and potentially a new trailer showing what could be a new direction for the game.
So first and foremost, I will once again reiterate what you guys said, which was shout out to Tom Henderson. Got a chance to meet Tom Henderson. Very nice dude. He paid for drinks, the whole thing. Very nice dude.
Very nice.
Awesome guy. Wonderful human. So shout out to the great Tom Henderson, who does great work there at Insider Gaming. So as to the leak, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I may or may not know or have seen. We'll move on from that. That's neither here nor there. But what I will say is, I do agree with Hargeet. And there's a part to this puzzle, as far as like I agree with Hargeet as to like what we saw, what was available to be seen or played, if you had that capability, was not really Wolverine. It was kind of a Spider-Man skin, right? We all know that unfortunately our beloved Insomniac has now been locked into the salt mines of Marvel, but that's in a whole nother conversation that I hope one day they can escape from. But what I will say is I have hope here, because like as BoomStick was saying, like I'm that quiet ninja in the room. And what I mean by that is every piece of Marvel fare that has gone on, back when you were watching it to back when you stopped watching it, I've kept watching it so you didn't have to. I have seen every single fare. I mean, everything. Everything. It comes out, I watch it. Even the worst of the worst. I am quiet, I zip the lip, and I'm watching it. Right? If you hear me talk about it on social, it means it was excellent. If you don't hear me talk about it, it means I know most people won't like it, but I liked it anyway. I am a Marvel zombie from way back.
There you go.
I say all this to say the Marvel of old, or rather the Disney of old, when this deal was struck, is a different Disney than today.
Yeah.
That Disney could do no wrong when they made this deal way back when. This Disney has something to prove to the people. This Marvel, this MCU has something that they want to get people back on board.
They owe us an apology for what happened in phases 4 and 5. Sorry, I got to be the guy to say it. At
the time, I am imagining at the time when this deal was struck, Feige was like, he had a Mount Rushmore already built for himself, and his face was on all 5 pieces of it. Like he was just it, right? But today, it's a different conversation. Today, do they still got it? I purport to say they do. As you say, we watched the Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four was fantastic. I thought it was excellent. More people need to watch it. They'll realize that actually Marvel's back, right? I think it's great. I see you, King Webb. I see you play. He's like, no, trash.
Say that.
Yes. But needless to say, they have something to prove now, and I don't see them letting Disney Sony rather getting away with, well, you all build this thing and we'll see what you do when you're done. They have historically not been the type, right? Disney manages their IPs closely in all aspects. So if they weren't paying attention to what was coming out of Sony, I bet after those leaks, and I bet after some of the fumbles and bumbles they've had with the MCU proper, they are paying close attention to what is coming out now. So if that rumor is true, and I have no reason to deny the great Tom Henderson to say that it's coming out, or that they're ready to show it. If that is true, that means Disney has been like, all right, man, let's rein this in. And they've gotten it to a place where it's actually worthy of showing. Why is this important? Because right now we all know, if you've been watching that Marvel stuff, if you've been about that Disney Plus and or the MCU movies life, you know that the X-Men and Wolverine writ large is so close to the silver screen. They're coming out again. This is Marvel trying to put them back out there in a real way. How will they be introduced? What will they look like? How will they be portrayed? All that is in the sauce. So imagine them sitting back and allowing Sony to dictate terms on how you see one of the biggest IPs in that Marvel, in that Wolverine, or with Wolverine in that canon. I don't see that happening, right? Back when they made this deal and Spider-Man was hitting on all cylinders, yeah, they know what they're doing. They're fine. After the leak, after a few fumbles here and there, I really think that both Marvel and Sony kind of reframed themselves and went, all right, well, I guess maybe we flew too close to the sun there. Let us come back to center. And if they're showing this thing this year, it means they are ready to go. And that excites me to no end, because some of us know there's some Marvel movies out there that really, although people love them, they misrepresent Wolverine wildly. He is not 6'5". He's not talking to the kids at school. No, he's not. He is the troll under the stairs that you get scared of, because he's going like kill you before talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, Boom, I'm expecting, like, let's not get it twisted. They're not doing a rated R version, right? They're gonna make it as cromulent, as 4-quadrant as they possibly can because they need everybody to be at the yard. I get it, but I'm just saying, Wolverine Uncaged Edition is out there. That exists in the world. You don't know what that is? Look it up. It is one of the
game, by
best
the way.
Wolverine games ever made. And who was
The
it made
violence
by?
in that game is unbelievable.
And that game was made by a now Microsoft studio. Just putting that out there. So there's that, right? And there's another Wolverine game that came out on the OG Xbox, Weapon X Xbox, like original Xbox. They had a Weapon X version of Wolverine. I don't know if you played that, where you literally came out of the Weapon X tank with the helmet on. You're basically like killing your way out of your
I don't
prison.
even remember that, dude.
Oh, bro, I have them all. I play them frequently. I love those games. Insomniac is so good at what they do. They are excellent. It is so unfortunate that they have been locked behind that wall of Marvel, but I am very confident that if they're out there, they're coming out. Yes, that's the Wolverine Origins, and specifically the Uncaged Edition. Don't buy the regular because the regular is trash, but the Uncaged Edition, he is ripping fools to shreds, and you're seeing his adamantium. You're seeing him regrow his limbs in real time. You can slow down the video and watch it. It's amazing what they did in that game. But I really, I'm confident that if they're coming out with this thing, that it is good, because honestly, like the build we saw, the leak stuff we saw, I kind of feel like that stuff was early days, and they were trying to test out what the locomotion would be and all of that. There are a lot of iterations of games before they actually end up in your like your console, right? So, like, if nothing else, I take this as Ugly Sonic situation. Remember Ugly Sonic? Everybody came out, they went, ah, right? And then they turned around and they did right by Sonic, right? Hey, so much so that Ugly Sonic is now a thing. He's literally a character in some games. Like, he's just sitting there like, hey, what's up? It's crazy, right?
He did look like a degenerate drunk, I'm not gonna lie.
Right? But similarly in that situation, even though they didn't know that they had created a crazy character, the people let them know it. Once it was known, they sorted it out, and what happened? Sonic thrived. It is now amazing, right?
Yeah.
So until I see it, until they do me wrong, I will say that build was just that. It was an experimental build. They were still working on it. If they are ready to show something, I will move all that from the headcanon, and I will patiently await, because Insomniac hasn't done me wrong. Yeah, sometimes they're made to go too quickly, and as such they make some mistakes, this and that. Spider-Man 2, I agree with you, right? Sometimes it seems like they're pushing a little too hard in one direction versus another, but in general, they do not make bad games. So if they're ready to show it, I am ready to see it. I'm effing excited. That's me.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Shout out to Invisible War in the chat, who drops a very generous $2 super chat. He says Spider-Man 2018 on the Ally X is amazing. Indeed.
It's phenomenal. On handhelds, the freaking Miles Morales, holy crap, it is phenomenal. I'm just saying.
And we will be playing that soon enough. And again, this is, look, if it happens at the State of Play at the end of September, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna throw a theory in here before we get into, and I want to be led by Kay Asante on this, because Kay, we had such a great conversation today about some of the stuff that Everborn Saga was going back and forth with again, politely, of course, politically correctly. There was no slander or unnecessary finger pointing, but this obsession with games media about Xbox Game Pass being so good that it has trained Xbox players to not buy games is not only a lie, but it's falsities on every article that I've seen. There was one the other day that written by the unawesome Christopher Drain. We know he's just a walking troll. He lives to troll. That's why he had to make his own company, because no one would hire him because of all the smoke he brings wherever he goes. And he did something, as Chris String does, and he took a title used from a piece of a conversation with Machine Games and took it completely out of context, as he does, especially when he has been one of the he's been at the forefront of being incredibly extra pointed about how Xbox Game Pass is bad for developers. I've talked to people, according to him, 3 people. And it's just ridiculous. We're going to get into that, but in September, which we are now, today's September 3rd. This event happening at the end of the month. Tom's, this is an exclusive report. He talked to people, so he obviously has it in good authority that Wolverine could show up.
Yeah.
If Wolverine does show up, that's going to be that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see the direction they have taken Logan. But that's not the only thing I can see showing up there. Folks, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get panned for it. I'm gonna get clipped for it. I don't care. Helldivers. If Helldivers 2 proves anything, Sony wants to make money. They have games that they could make money on Xbox, and they could take up positions in their top-selling, most paid-for games, like Helldivers is doing right now. They are holding the number 1 and number 3 position on the Xbox showcase store. I literally said that was going to happen. Not that I'm some sort of a mathematician, but I said that I literally said the same success Xbox is having with their games on PlayStation could have a similar success, and they're having it right now with Helldivers 2. And I've spent about $50 so far in microtransactions. I don't make apologies for it. I like their armors, and I'm going to support the game, which I've done. But that, again, kind of apologies for being a little long-winded. I'm going to bring it all the way back to what I think this event's going to be. I think this event is not only going to levy Wolverine. I think Insomniac Games is going to announce Spider-Man and Miles Morales for Xbox in late September. Because, folks, if you didn't know, the 7th anniversary is happening in 4 days, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, September 7th is going to be the 7th anniversary of Spider-Man 2018, and they have been incredibly cryptic, putting out tweets on 1 week, tweets 2 weeks later, tweeting about Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Folks, it's happening. I can't say for sure, but I think it's happening, and I think that if this event does happen, that would be the event, because it's going to be an Insomniac event. They're going to show off Wolverine, but they're going to have the one more thing for our Xbox fans, and it's going to blow the doors off of the internet. And I'm going to wait for those apologies from all those MFs that made videos about me and wrote articles about me. And you know what? I'm never going to get it, but I will be able to sit there like a Cheshire cat, smoking one, and smiling from ear to ear, even though I don't smoke. I'm just using the pun. But gentlemen, we got to get into this. Now, this is one of those topics that is something that it's a community conversation, right? It's a conversation that Kay Asante has had on his Discord. And folks, let me tell you, the GCP Discord, even though I don't frequent it a lot, it is a great place to go and have a great conversation with fellow gamers. Now, it gets a little bit pointed, and I would even dare say
we call it the octagon of ideas, man.
It's
the octagon of
ideas. Well, it's a little bit more than that, because you're going to get shanked for sure by somebody in there.
Oh,
maybe
boy.
even John Wolf, because he's notorious for that. Kay, I want to pass you over the mic, because you had the greatest setup for this conversation. And where all of this stems from, and again, folks, this I want you to understand something. I'm not naming the names to throw people under the bus, but in order for you to understand what we're talking about, I have to mention who it is. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to promote his article, and I'm going to add the link to the show notes, because obviously we're talking about him. His name is K-Med, K_Med on Twitter. I've had conversations with him, gentleman of a man. He's never been nasty with me. I've never been nasty with him. We've had some differences of opinion, sure. But where all of this stems from is, and I don't think it's because of K-Med. He is making a point for a general conversation that continues to rage on, not only in the games community, worse off the games media. And it's somehow that Game Pass, and folks, this is the crux of it. Game Pass is so good that some people would say it's too good. And because it's too good, it is somehow going to gum up the industry as we know it. And I think not only is that the false narrative, I think it's wrong. But I want to read the tweet here. Okay. And K-Med goes on to say, take a deep breath and listen. Try to process what I'm saying without emotion. Okay, that's fair. It's an opener. Xbox trained people not to buy as many games with Game Pass. You may indeed buy games, but the majority of Xbox customers are happy enough with the selection of games available in Game Pass that they don't feel the need to purchase as many games as users of other platforms, i.e., PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. This is more the fault of Xbox/Microsoft for making Game Pass just a little too good of a value. And obviously, he brought up
Hargeet. Yes. Yes.
He brought up
Keep going.
Yeah, it is hard. We're going to get to you, Hargeet, because I know you're going to have a lot to say. It's preposterous, but he brought up a chart from the FTC trial talking about games purchased. Now, where I have some pushback, and I'm going to let Kay Asante take this and run, because I have not some pushback. I have a lot of pushback, and I'm going to throw myself on the stand here and make it a bit personal. Be as transparent as I normally am, because folks, life is very difficult right now for a lot of families, and we all know that the first thing that has to go as an adult is your entertainment. Now, whether that be going to the bar with your friends, going to another type of bar with new tops and stuff like that, fine, if that's what you like. Going to the, spending money on concerts or ball games, or, a Harley or a new car. But when you bring it down to the level of what we're talking about, sometimes your entertainment needs to go in the way of no cable, no streaming services like Netflix and Peacock and Hulu, right? And more specifically, that lends to this conversation is buying of video games, especially new games. And that is why I have always said, I've stood on this square, I will die on this square. The thing that I love about Game Pass, besides its inherent value, besides the dominance of first party, but the third party indie and second party games that are in there on a monthly basis. And this is me being, you can call me a nerd, you can call me a fool that has, faith in humanity. That's fine. But the one thing that I love about this service is no matter what your financial station is, there is a way for you to afford $10, $15, or even $20 a month to get access to games that, if you bought regularly, would cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per year. Kay Asante, please help us out with this posting from K-Med.
So, all right. So we had this conversation about this morning, and honestly, generally, I don't get it. And I've tried to understand it from many perspectives. I do try, because I want to understand why. And I know a lot of people say, "Why do you care?" Right? And clearly, it is to be understood that people care because they want to make sure that the investment that they made is still fruitful and it continues to thrive, right? But frankly, every example that you can find where they changed the paradigm of what exists, ultimately it didn't change much, right? My number one thing that I look at these days is Netflix, right? Netflix basically brought about the democratization of movies, right? Before then, you were paying per movie. You just were. right? That's just what we were doing. iTunes made it very easy to buy and rent per movie, and it still exists today. But I would venture to guess that because of some of these things, because of some of these services that are available now, it is probably not this. It's probably not the same level of purchase that used to happen, right? And I know some people will go, it's not exactly the same one for one, but guess what? Every Netflix movie you can go buy on Amazon. You buy it right now, but more often than not, you will most likely opt to use that movie in that rental service, and instead of say going to purchase it like you historically used to, right? With new technology and new times comes new things, right? There was a time where I was using my Movie Pass subscription and watching like 10, 12 movies a week because I'm a crazy person, right? I was doing that. Did I expect it to last forever? Hell no. I even saw the business model and I was like, that is unattainable, because I found out in the background that even though I paid my $10 a month, every time I went to the movie, that means company A would have to then pay the movie theater the same amount of money for the movies, right? So it wasn't even that they were getting a discount. It was that I was paying $10 to then make use of their services. Like, that was just unachievable. It was unattainable. It wasn't built to last. Did I say, nah, fam, we're going to stop using it because it's not built to last? I said, hey, mother effers, everybody get on this train because eventually it'll leave the station. We might as well enjoy it while it's here, right? I'll give you another one. The 1080 Ti from NVIDIA. One of the most like lightning in a bottle graphics cards ever made. To this day, I owned a 1080 Ti for 7 years. I bought it for, I think, $500 or $600. And then 7 years later, I sold it for $800.
Holy
Go figure.
Shit.
To this day, one of the best graphic cards ever made, to the point where NVIDIA, who made it, is like, please stop using it. We were trying to sell you something else. And they've already basically said, we're never making a device, never giving such a dollar to performance ratio ever again. Last example, this is the MSI Claw. Considered by me and many to be the king of handhelds these days, right? Is it because MSI is the king of handhelds? Oh, heck no. When this thing came out, it was basically dog water, right? Oh, it's not doing so well. People moved on. And then Intel, who has a graphics card in here, released a bunch of updates. And now, guess what? It is lightning in a bottle. It shoots its shot above almost all else. It is wild. Will they release another one that's exactly like this? Probably not, because it's not financially in their advantageous for them to do so. But does that mean you shouldn't buy one? Hell no. This is lightning in a bottle. You get amazing value for your dollar. Doesn't mean you're leaving gaming tomorrow, but this is an amazing device where, yeah, it'll cost you a little, but you will probably never get a device of this kind again. I say all this to say, why is it that when they're giving you such a good deal in any and every other realm, that is something to be lauded and to advocate for? And oh my God, they're doing such great work. But in this instance, we all have to agree that, yeah, fam, that's not good to train us that we can expect more for less, and maybe not just have to deal with the cover of the game so they can fool you potentially. Like, I've literally heard developers say this. Oh, Game Pass is bad. Some developers, Game Pass is bad because back in the day, all we had to do is get you to entice you with a cover. Now we have to show and prove, because if we don't, you can test it out, realize it's crap, and now we lost money. Do we think that's a good thing for gaming? Absolutely not. So why the hell is everybody advocating for its downfall? For some reason, everyone has to put on their business suits and tell me why this thing is not like advantageous and why we should all stop because it's too good for gamers. It just, boom, it boggles my mind. I don't understand it. Yes, you want to make sure that your game environment lasts. You want to make sure that gaming writ large lasts, right? Absolutely. I have no issue with that. And that's the reason why we all do the speeds and feeds thing, and we all pay attention to what's being done, right? But to say that this thing specifically is too good for games and for gaming, and as such, we have to, we as people should recognize that they are not smart enough to recognize that they're ruining gaming. So we have to be the smart ones and stop, right? And stop letting them pervert gaming by, what did they say? Support the devs and buy your game. As if the developer was like caught like a Pokemon, and now it's in a bottle, and now it's in a freaking bull, a ball, and we need to save them by buying their game. What? They didn't receive a paycheck. They didn't agree to the deal. Like, it is very wild to me. I don't know why it is that even journalists who I would purport to read and appreciate and all of that still always err on the side of, nah, this thing ain't right. This is not going to work. This is not going to like, I would be like, well, I don't know if it's going to last or not, but please enjoy it while it lasts, because this is amazing. I never hear that. I don't know if it's the Xbox thing. I don't know if it's because of Microsoft. It probably because of Microsoft, because, $1 trillion company, all that. I wonder if we get that much smoke on other subscription services that do similar. I know that none of those are similarly as good as this one is, but I find it so weird that the other services that don't really give you as much, they get to be cool. They get to live. But this one that is so undeniable in the year of our Lord 2025, where every single thing that will most likely be in contention for the Keeleys, with exception of few, were already in Game Pass this year. And somehow we have to advocate that thing ain't right. I don't understand it. I don't, because even me, who's not the biggest, hugest PlayStation gamer on earth, I do play PlayStation games and I do enjoy PlayStation games. I am a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Recently they got me for extra because I was about to cancel, but then I skipped the date. But the credit I will give them is Animal Well and all these other super interesting games that what is Sword of the Sea, that you're just like, I don't know what that is. You end up playing it, you're like, yo, these guys have a gift to get some really interesting zeitgeist moving small titles in their subscription service. So if nothing else, because of that, PlayStation Plus is actually pretty damn good. If you're looking for that cute little interesting little awesome thing that you didn't know you wanted. I was blown away when I saw Animal Well on there. I was completely like, I thought it was fantastic that Sword of the Sea is on there this year, because Sword of the Sea, let's keep it a buck. That game is amazing. Everybody should play it. If you're an Abzu player, if you're a Journey player, Sword of the Sea is for you, and it's on PlayStation Plus right now. So how come I, a person who's more on the Xbox side of the house, whether it be on PC or whatever, even I can see the value, but somehow other people look at that value and go, yeah, that's just too good, man. That's a poison pill. It's a trap. Akbar, let's get away from that. I don't understand. I don't understand. Seriously, like this is the conversation you and I have been having, right? Like, I just don't understand why it is that writ large folks can't see it for what it is, and it's like there's this emotional tie-in where they pretzel themselves into not presenting all this data, only to then kind of say, I don't like it, but they won't admit that. You know what I mean, Boom? Like, honestly, this is just me possibly just venting. I don't understand why it is that there's not a single one, whether it be on, well, not a single one that you can look at and just say, look, he's purporting to speak to the truth. Because to the point of it, right? And I'm sure Hargeet can attest as well. They don't share all numbers. They don't make it very clear what it looks like. So there's some fudging there, right? And they do that. All of them do that, right? They don't share every piece of the puzzle because they want to keep some of that close to the vest, right? But for some reason, theirs is the only ones that proves that they're lying. Everyone else can kind of just keep the rest under the rug and we're fine. I don't know why that specific equation happens all the time. And it keeps trying to take down Game Pass, which I got to tell you, I don't see that one necessarily like going anywhere, because I'll tell you, I just came back from Gamescom. The Xbox logo was everywhere. The Game Pass logo is even bigger everywhere. That thing ain't going anywhere. And the more people use it, and the more fantastic people like talk about it in the zeitgeist, the more the company's learning that, oh, not only do you like Game Pass, you like Game Pass when it releases day one, exclusive, awesome, next gen stuff. Ah, interesting. We now know it and we'll use it for next time. So they're learning and making it better. So why not like advocate and promote and give them the credit for what they're doing correctly, so that they can kind of work it the way you want it to be, rather than continuing to speak that, oh, it should go away. And everybody goes back to the days of, those that can afford will pay and those that won't will just be envious. That's where it seems like people want to go.
Yeah,
And
it's
I think that's
ridiculous.
super weird. But that's my take on it. That's it.
And it's a great take, to be quite honest with you. Hargeet, before I bring you in, I want to just read and again, I'm a context kind of a guy. You folks know that, right? I'm an evidence-based conversation kind of a guy. So
Mm.
I have in front of me a block of games. 2, 3, 4. It consists of 18 games that when this year is finished, will have released into Xbox Game Pass. Now, that's not all of the games, but these are games that are not only going to be highly reviewed. Some of them have already been highly reviewed, but they're all bangers. Let's just say that. And obviously, I couldn't go through the whole list because we don't have 3-hour podcasts anymore. But just for context, Argeet, how is this either too good or bad for the industry? How is this bad? Because ultimately, when I hear stuff like that, it boils my blood because I'm a consumer first. Everyone on this panel is a consumer first. Everybody in this chat is a customer first. So I don't give a flying shit if Microsoft makes profits or they don't. What I care about is I'm paying for a service, and in that service, it has been promised to me that they're going to deliver and levy incredible experiences every month that I am subscribed. And they have done that in spades, right? So again, this is just 18 games, folks. How is this a bad thing? If you can come up with a legitimate answer, I will read it aloud. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, Sniper Elite, Avowed, South of Midnight, Expedition 33, Doom the Dark Ages, Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out next month, Grounded 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Oblivion Remake, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, Towerborn, Gears of War Reloaded, The Outer Worlds 2 at the end of the year or next month, Silk Song, by the way, tomorrow, Atomfall, Keeper, and the granddaddy Black Ops 7. Somehow or another, you're going to have people like Christopher Dring and others in the journalistic community, and I use that word loosely, try to say that this is a bad thing. Now, if you got ducats like that, I'm not a hater, folks. I'm a congratulator. Good for you. But then you go and you buy all your games. I want to live in Game Pass, and I think that they've been doing really well with it. And I think these handhelds are going to open the door for Game Pass in other countries and other regions that they have failed with home consoles. And if they do come out with the rumored tier where it's cloud only and it's something like $10 a month and you are getting day-and-day games, it is going to skyrocket to 100,000 subscribers. Hargeet, let's try to make sense of this ridiculousness.
Yeah, so look, I've been warning that they eventually will not be able to deny it, right? Because eventually there's just too much stuff. They own too much of the market now. There's just no way you can deny Xbox or Microsoft in gaming. And this is the next stage. It's too good. That's the next stage. It's too good. Okay. Well, if it's too good, that just means players should take advantage of it. And who cares what it means to the rest of the industry? Now, what's really happening is, of course, it hurts them that their platform isn't doing it. And they don't like the fact that their platform isn't the one doing it. And they're just annoyed. And that's fine. I don't care if you're annoyed. You know what? It's undeniable at this point, and you have to accept it. And it's in writing now. You just have to accept it. Xbox is too good. The industry would not be where it is without them. And you want to play Xbox games. And now we have proof. Undeniable proof. The top games on PlayStation are Xbox games. It is what it is. They're all Xbox players now. And now you get to see, oh, I have to pay here. I don't have to pay over there. I just pay my monthly fee. Oh, gee. All right. Well, keep paying. You want to pay? That's fine. Choose that platform. I don't know how well that's going to keep going. This will just keep getting more interesting over the next few years as more and more games are going to be in Game Pass. More and more games are coming out from Xbox. Nintendo, as I keep saying, they still keep churning out games. They keep putting out a bunch of stuff. And in comparison, you'll have the one big game from PlayStation every year. Okay, cool. If that's what you want, you got it. If you want a platform that gives you everything, including those PlayStation games, you have that too. I'm just saying. And they still have a service. Asante points out, and I've been pointing out for the longest time, I don't hear this about Ubisoft Plus. I don't hear this about EA Play Pro. Those have been around. Are they killing gaming? Has gaming died because of EA and Ubisoft? You know what has changed gaming? Mobile, which is 70% of the market, and big freaking black hole games that take up all the time from everything else. Under 10% of all gaming is all this AAA, AA, all this stuff. Under 10%. The vast majority of gaming does not include any of this stuff. And that's what they're not seeing and not happy about. Well, too bad. The average, we've already seen all the stats, right? The average player on PlayStation is playing what? The black hole games. They're not buying this nice little game of the year called Astrobot. They're not buying it. They didn't bother with this one. It died. Just is what it is. They're terrified at PlayStation of what's going to happen to Fair Games and Marathon.
Yep.
Again, you can hear it in their words. They decided to put the game that's running in our background here on Xbox to get more engagement, and it worked. Look, I like every sign is pointing at the same thing. It's undeniable at this point. Xbox is undeniable at this point, and they're just going to have to squirm and deal with it. So you can either keep playing on your PlayStation and keep paying, because look, Xbox is going to take money from you. They're going to put those games over there. They're very happy to take your, whatever, $50 out of the $70, whatever 70% they get. They're happy to get that. And all the microtransactions, they're happy to get it. Absolutely, buy the games over there, no problem. But they keep giving us this deal. And as long as they keep giving us this deal, I don't care how much they make. I care about how much I make and how much I don't have to waste. And how many games I get to keep playing every freaking week that keep dropping into Game Pass. I go in every Tuesday. Oh, look, another game. Download. That's what happens. That's what we have over here. Enjoy whatever you have over there. If it makes sense for you and you like it that way, great. I don't see it killing gaming. Is it changing gaming? No, that's not what's changing gaming. You know what's changing gaming? Mobile and black hole games. The rise of Fortnite. The rise of, Warzone and
Apex
all these other
Legends,
ones. And
Marvel
Roblox.
Rivals. It's just...
And we underestimate how big things like Roblox and Minecraft are. And those things eat up a lot of the gaming energy. That's the world. Now, if you think your game is really good and it should attract customers, you know how they do that? They make a game and they make you want to play it. That's their problem. That's not me as a consumer. It's not my problem. That's their problem. Right. So if they put out a trailer and they show me Spider-Man zipping around New York and I'm like, oh, I want to play that. And I go buy the game. That's it. That's the whole contract. That's it. That's all it is. I buy the game to play it. That's it. I'm not here as a consumer required to buy their game. I don't care. It's not my problem. If somebody gives me a game I want to play, I'll just buy it if I can afford it. If it's in my Game Pass, I don't have to worry about it. I also happen to have a Ubisoft Plus for a year because they had a deal. It was like $100 for the year. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll do that. That's like one game because it gives you the Ultimate Edition. Why not? Cool. Now I got all their games. Awesome. If it's of value to me, I'll take it. That's it. It's just that simple. I just don't see this necessity of constantly trying. But as I said, it's the stages they're going to go through. You're going to see this over and over. It's just going to keep happening until they just get to the point of saying, okay, enough, whatever. It is what it is. It's here. You want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, feel free to support the devs and pay the $70. Enjoy. I don't care. I get it for 20. I actually get it for cheaper than that. I still find deals all the time for Game Pass. So I just get it for like 11, $10, whatever. Fine. If you can find the deals, go for it. I don't care. I'm not here selling Microsoft. I'm not here selling Sony. I'm not here selling Nintendo or anything else, Steam, whatever. Enjoy all those platforms. I don't care. Play games. That's it. We're supposed to play games. We should be talking about, hey, look at this game that we're seeing here. Awesome. Co-op play. You get to fight all these things and then zoom out. I think that's what you want. You just want to play, have fun, right? That's what this should be about instead of this constant negativity. So is it changing gaming? Of course it's changing gaming. That's what every challenger does. Did the Nintendo Switch change gaming? Yes. Should we say, damn it, God damn you, Nintendo, why did you change gaming? No, we shouldn't, because that's what innovation's for. Yep. Let them change gaming. Who cares? If you like it, buy it. If you don't. That's it. It's just that simple. What they're pissed off about is it's working. That's it. It's working. And they have games people want to play. Like you guys mentioned, all like the game of the year, contenders outside of Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei, which is likely going to be there, are in Game Pass. It's like, okay, fine. Like, is that a problem? Is that a bad thing? Like, whatever, right? Who cares? If it's good, bad, if you like it, that's all that matters. Do you want to part with your $20 a month, $10 a month, $11, $12, whatever it is that you pay? Then part with it. The whole need to continue to keep bashing Xbox is just, it's going to keep getting tired. And most people who are like, well, I like it, I don't care if you keep telling me it's bad, I'm just buying it. We'll just shut these people up. That's it. That's what's going to happen. It's becoming undeniable. As I said, it's going to happen. It's going to become undeniable. There's nothing they can do about it. They're too big. If they pick up another publisher, there's just, what are they going to do? How many times are they going to say no? It is what it is, guys. It's inevitable. Just deal with it. You get the EA games and all of Xbox, which is a lot of games. And not to mention just surprise hits like Expedition 33, right? They just come out as Blueprints. Was that the other one?
Yeah, Blueprints was a Game of the Year contender.
Right.
So, of the year.
Whatever, right? It's like, it's up to games to come in and say, I'm good, come and play me. That didn't stop other games from selling well. KCD 2 did pretty well. Baldur's Gate did pretty well, right? Again, there's plenty of games out there. Path of Exiles, it's doing great. It's in preview. It's still like Path of Exiles 2. It's still in preview. But either way, it's still, how many people put hundreds of hours in that game, right? It is what it is. It's fine. It's up to people to make a game compelling enough to get your money. It's up to them. It's not up to us. And it's not my problem or anybody on this panel's problem to make sure Sony makes money or Nintendo makes money or Steam makes money or Xbox makes. I don't care.
Yeah,
that's not my problem.
Right.
It's my problem is, how do I get through my backlog of games and enjoy them? That's it. That's my problem. That's it. Right. The next cool piece of hardware kit, if I want to buy it, I'm going to buy it. If I don't need it. That's fine. That's it. I don't know how we got to these points of like, I need to support this, that. If you need to support devs, well, you did a pretty poor job with this picture right behind me. That dev's gone. You didn't play the game. It died. That's not my problem. It's not any player's problem either. It wasn't compelling enough. That was their problem. It's just the way it is. If you want to play the other side of it, then what happened? What happened? Go write the articles. What happened? Blame Game Pass? Is that what you're gonna do? Like, go away.
Well, that's probably what would have been the next thing. I mean, again, one of the narratives that continues to be a part of the games industry, both through the community side of things and through the journalistic side of things, is we're conditioned not to buy games. I got news for you folks, and I had this conversation with Kay Sante early this morning. Right, like there you go. That's the one. I mean, how many people bought it? They're closing in on 1 million already in a couple of days. Considering how niche this game is, because a lot of people don't even know what this game is. Right? They released it on Xbox. If 1 million people bought it, is that good or bad? I mean, that's up to you to determine. I think it is good in a couple of days. But is it record?
Real quick, just to add to that good or bad comment. I think what people fail to understand is when you get to go to the movies for free, you buy a lot of popcorn.
That's true.
That's what happens, right? You didn't use the money you had in your pocket to buy the movie. You already got the movie. So now you'll buy popcorn. You'll buy extra drinks. This is what happens all the time. Or maybe you get a popcorn subscription or you get a movie subscription. So now when that one movie or whatever comes out that's not part of your sub, you are easily able to buy it, a la Helldivers too.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff you have on your to-do list is going to be Silksong and the others in Game Pass already. So you got money in your pocket, burning a hole, ready to help you buy those games that don't come. People don't get that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like the DLC for Indiana Jones, right? How many people bought the expanded to play early? All that kind of stuff. It just happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I already bought the $30 Vault Edition pack for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Like, it's in my service. Take my money, and you know something? I'm probably going to buy skins like I've been buying for Black Ops 6. So they're going to get my money one way or another. And that's the other thing that I want to add to the conversation before we do, read the super chats and get on out of here, because we're closing in on the 90-minute mark. But what Game Pass does for me personally, this is where I'm going to get personal, folks. I'm not going to tell you what my salary is per month, right? That's private. But I'm a retired guy. I don't make overtime. What my salary is what I did to get, at the end of my 21-year career, and it's my pension. I worked super hard for it. But like I've said before many times, it's a great pension. It covers all my medical needs, vision, dental, health, you name it. So it's good, but it has a ceiling. And in 2025, when everything is so expensive, what Game Pass does for me personally, and this is where I become transparent, is it allows for me to go out and buy like Shinobi's collector's edition from Limited Run. Like it just came in today. I still buy a ton of PlayStation and Nintendo Switch games. But if I did not have Game Pass and I was buying, let's say, all of the games that came out for Xbox this year, on top of everything else, I'd have to not buy something else. I'd have to look for a deal. I'd have to buy them used, right? I'd have to go to eBay to pick up a game for the Switch, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I don't have to do that because of Xbox Game Pass. I think that really does get lost in translation in the conversation. It just really does. People just think, oh, it's an Xbox thing. It is not just an Xbox thing. If you have Xbox Game Pass and you play your games through the service, could you spend money? Can you buy microtransactions? Like I just blew myself up over here. Oh my God, awful. Yes, you could, but you can also buy other games, which is something I quite frankly enjoy doing. And with Game Pass, it allows me to do it. Again, folks, I don't want to beat the horse, but I just think that this narrative of Xbox players are trained not to buy games is preposterous at best. It has no legs whatsoever to be a variable conversation to have, or to even try and make a point of. I'm sorry.
We'll not even go as far as, so what if they don't? How is that anybody's problem?
Exactly.
Like, it's up to Helldivers enticed enough people to buy it. That's what you got to do. Just entice people to buy it, right? I wanted Mafia the Old Country, so I bought it. That's it. It's just that simple. Yeah. Right? If you want it, buy it. It's not on us to buy every game. It's just not. There's also that many more games coming out all the time now. We just get games you can only buy so much, play so much, right? I say I'm playing more because of Game Pass. I've probably bought more games, even though I have Game Pass. And it's because, well, okay, that game is cool. I'm going to buy it versus I already have a game. I'm not going to buy another game. Right? Yeah. Now it's just like my backlog just continues to grow. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. But I like this game. I'm going to buy it anyway. Right.
And many of us, many of us play the game, love it so much that it has to become part of the collection. Games you would have never bought day one. Yep. So you end up buying a lot more games.
Games I would have never given a chance.
Yeah.
All sorts of series of games I've never given a chance before. I'm like, oh, it's here. Oh, this is actually pretty good. I've bought sequels to games that I would never have played ever because Game Pass put the game in Game Pass. It's like, hey, they just won.
Again, it's just a sad narrative for people that are angry at the world for one reason or another. And I'm going to start carrying around the Game Pass doll and tell these people, please show me on the doll where Game Pass touched you so we can have them arrested. That's about all I can say. But Nino Vistic, our generous friend all the way from Hawaii, who I've been hanging out with on the game on your screen quite often. We were hanging out last night. He is really good, and he is very leveled up. So if you want to roll with someone that knows what they're doing and can do a lot of damage to these blasted bugs, Nino Vistic is the one to hang out with. I just hit level 12, and I'm still underpowered. Like I said, I tried just for shits and giggles to do a solo run on the difficulty above medium. And the minute I landed, I was destroyed. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go back to medium. And then try, because there's a new DLC. Now you're going into caves. Did you see the size of that thing that's like the worm from Dune that you have to fight? It takes up the freaking screen. I saw someone actually kill it by himself, by the way. I was like, wow, that guy is for real. That's Captain America right there. Yeah, he killed that bug. And I don't even know what it's called. It's as big as the screen. It's ridiculous. So yes, Helldivers has my soul. I love it, and well, I'm happy that it's on Xbox. We have Mike the TV in the chat. Mike, great to see you here, brother. Thanks so much for joining us, and of course, thank you very much for the very generous $2 super chat. Mike goes on to say the other services aren't AAA day and date, and that is the point. And well, that's a great point. That's what it is. It's incredible that for $20, and it's currently still $20. How long that lasts, I don't know, but you shouldn't care. You should just subscribe. You're getting, this year alone is ridiculous. Next year is so undeniably great. It's almost unfair. Like, it's almost literally unfair.
But Boom, just to point out, EA Play Pro does give you day and date full game, and
Ubisoft for PC, they absolutely do. Yeah,
and Ubisoft's on Xbox and on PC, so you can get Ubisoft Plus.
I pay for Ubisoft Plus.
Full game. Yeah, you get full game,
all the DLC,
everything. Yeah, it's great.
It's
by the way,
phenomenal.
Did you get the first one, Invisible Dwarf? I don't know if you got his.
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah, Invisible War. Yep, I sure did. He says that Spider-Man 2018 on the Ally X is amazing, and I said I can't wait to play it myself. We have here Freddie Fox in the chat. Freddie, great to see you here, brother. Thanks so much for the very generous $5 super chat. Freddie goes on to say, I wish Xbox don't buy games was true, because I spend over $400 in a month. Chronos, Hell is Us, Shinobi, NBA 2K, Wukong, Ninja Gaiden, Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy 16, and Ready or Not Dead. He spent some money. And Chronos looks dope AF. That is releasing. Is that next week or is that this week? Jeez,
I think it's this week. Like the early access already started. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get a review copy. I guess I thought the channel was too small, which is fine. I'm buying it. It's like Dead Space. Yes, please. So that's fine. Mike the TV drops an additional very generous $10 super chat. Mike, that's very kind of you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. But thank you so much for the generosity. He says, guys, chill. Neither Dring MG said Game Pass is bad. It can be good, but a very real trade-off is a smaller game adoption window. MG, we have to make more gripping games. Of course, he's talking about machine games. To make more gripping games intros because of how competitive Game Pass is. That's absolutely true. But Dring has actually gone out of his way to say that Game Pass is bad, Mike, and he had to apologize in a rebuttal, an almost embarrassing rebuttal. I actually had it on screen that I was going to read it, but I don't want to give him too much light because that guy's a troll.
Boom, did you get Gamer by Choice, the one for Keasante?
I don't see that one.
Oh, I do see that one. Oh, yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah, please, if you would mind. Yes.
He says in this Gamer by Choice, the file super chat, he says, Keasante, when people want to hate, logic goes out the window. Game Pass is great value driven by people, but is not understood. It is so they can hate on it. Well, that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
You want to hate on something. Yeah.
Well, Gamer by Choice, I'm sorry I didn't come up on my side, but thank you, Kay, for reading, and thank you very much for the generous $5 super chat. And we also have here J-Mac in the chat. J-Mac, generous friend, good friend of the channel, good friend of mine personally, and a hashtag fellow graybeard. He says Xbox World Order is fully operational. Indeed it is. But gentlemen, listen, folks, chat, this has been great. If you missed yesterday's show, I cut it into 3 videos and more digestible. It was me, of course, Infinite Umbra, and Jamie Moran, and we talked about 3 big topics. I will be cutting this down as well. For anyone that showed up late or wants to catch it on a replay or missed it live, I will be cutting it down into a most smaller 2 videos that are more digestible. I cut out all the middle stuff, so it's just, usually like a 20-minute, video that you can check out. And I leave all the important context in there as well. Unlike Christopher Dring, who takes all that out to make false narratives, but that's fine. That's fine. He does his business. I do mine. Let's get everyone out of here. And we'll start first with Harky Chani. Harky, when you're not trying to destroy games that are leaving Game Pass and you continue to add to your ridiculous backlog, you do have a YouTube channel, which you do put content on. So, of course, we want to see you get to the next goal, and that is 2K. And, of course, how you can do that is by subscribing to Hargeet Chani. And also, if you didn't know, he wrote a book last year called Emergence, ladies and gentlemen. And if you like Mass Effect, you're probably going to like the book. Tell everyone where they can not only subscribe to your YouTube channel, more importantly, potentially buy your novel, sir.
Yeah. If you want to pick up my book, Emergence, go to shop.chani.us. Just right there. And then if you want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, it's Hargeet Chani 1. And then you can catch me Friday with C Money and Doodle, 8-ish p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and then with Fonz, 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Fonz Gaming's channel, and then with WebDave on Sunday at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on WebDave. And come back here next week and see how Xbox is dead again.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be. It's already zombified, so it's ridiculous. But yeah, again, folks, the rest of the year is just going to have one banger after another. The previews for Ninja Gaiden 4 were redonkulous. Outer Worlds 2 looks, oh my God, so freaking good. And Silk Song is tomorrow in Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. And again, if you want to support the dev, you want to support Team Cherry, they're releasing that game for $20. Like, I almost feel like if you don't buy the game, you're doing this, the developer a disservice. I'm buying the game. And I didn't even beat the first one. But I just have to throw them my money. I've said this before, and I hope he's listening. But Ponicle, if you are listening, sir, and you are currently hard at work at Vampire Survivors 2, I want to meet him in person. I want to give him the biggest hug you can imagine, and then $100 to go continue making his wares, because Vampire Survivors is my favorite game of the last decade. Honestly, it is one of the greatest pick up and play games I've ever had and ever played. And the fact that he has circled the moon, so to speak, by not only, because obviously he created Vampire Survivors because of his love of Konami and Castlevania, and then he wound up working with them. Oh my God, that is amazing! So of course I want to support the devs. I'm buying Silk Song. It's $20, and yes, it's in Game Pass. Yes, it is, and it's hard as hell, but I got to support the dev, and that just goes. It kicks sand in the face of all the a-holes, the internet a-holes that say we don't buy games. But Asante, let's get into what's happening this Saturday. Obviously, the Gaming Circle podcast, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday, where you, Everborn, and occasionally a guest or three show up to talk about the industry. And I would imagine that this conversation is going to happen again because Everborn himself, who couldn't be here today, is been talking about this on social media and getting a lot of pushback by some people that I think are legitimately trying to have a conversation, and others that are not trying to have a conversation and just be a troll. Brother, sell the brand. Where can people tune into the show every Saturday, but more importantly, follow you on social media?
Well, so first off, thanks to everybody who always jumps on the show and in the chat, having great conversations. I see you, B-Lou. B-Lou No 25 is talking about play Karate Survivor, one of the greatest Survivor games out. I share your love of Vampire Survivor, Boom. Any game that spurs a like, where all these other things are like it, is a game of a generation. I put my foot down on that one. Anyway, so what I will say is yesterday. Time is a squared circle these days. Yesterday, I released, we did kind of like an impromptu GCP blog in Germany right before I left. So we sat in front of this awesome ramen spot in Germany, myself and Aaron, and we literally just talked about all the games we saw. One of the games we actually saw that we couldn't talk about at the time was 007. And I can talk about that now because they finally released the video. So we got to see that as well.
Game looks
good,
if
you have, it's pretty darn cool, man. It like IO has put in their resume for years, being like, look at us, we can make 007. And somebody went, all right, let them make 007. It's awesome. It's fantastic. So if you want to check it out, maybe check out some of the other games that we saw. Some of the stuff that you probably haven't heard is coming down the pipe because there were just so many games. Check out the GCP channel, Gaming Circle Podcast channel on YouTube. There is a specific Gamescom 2025 playlist, and in there are a bunch of different things. Expect there will be a bunch of interesting articles. I'm actually planning on starting to right now, since I've done all the video stuff already out the way. So now there's going to be the written stuff what we do just to recap all the great stuff we have. And of course, this Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Gaming Circle podcast, where we will, have all this fun. By the way, I'll say it really quietly. I'm going to Nintendo Land tomorrow, baby. Yeah, the kids can't know. They don't know, but they're coming with me. It's gonna be awesome. So y'all gonna see some pictures.
Yes, I'm gonna say take a lot of pictures. I want to take Tyler there. I don't care if it's just the two of us, but I gotta go.
First time I've ever been. I'm keeping it quiet because them kids up there don't know nothing about
listen. Be careful because they have ears like spies. The kids,
seriously,
I can't say anything without Tyler finding anything. So I would imagine your kids, who are smart as a pencil.
I was talking to my wife. We were speaking a different language. My daughter looked at me like, "I think y'all are talking about me." I'm like, "Shut your face." Anyway.
Oh my goodness, they're too smart for their own good. Let me tell you something.
Yes. But yes, thank y'all for being here as usual. Keep an eye on the socials. I will be taking copious photos. I'll probably be wearing a very goofy Nintendo hat.
As you should, sir. As you absolutely should. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. A big thank you to all of the super chats, channel member chats, gifted subs, and the continued support behind the scenes through Double Barrel Gaming channel membership, as well as all the super chats. Mrs. Boom and I do greatly appreciate it. We keep on the lookout to my YouTube channel and, of course, the live streams that I'm going to be announcing the next big giveaway, and that is going to be the sixth or seventh annual Boom's birthday bash, where it's be my birthday on the 25th, but you find folks are going to get the prizes, and we're going to do a big giveaway as we always do to start off the holiday, last quarter of the year. We have that. We have Mrs. Boom's birthday bash in November, and of course the big giveaway in December, which is Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. BoomStick. And the only way we're able to do that, folks, is through the generosity of this incredible community, because it does allow for us to do the giveaways. And without you, we could not do that. But I'm going to close out the show, ladies and gentlemen, with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. BoomStick and Friends.